on YouTube? It's your boy Gemini back with our next video. Today we got 15 God level driver who do unreal things. You know what I mean? But before we get into the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff. Let me know down in the section what to react to next. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you can know when your bar is posted. Hey, my bad if you are hearing the dog barking in the background. You know what I mean? It's a stupid neighbor dog just barking for no reason. You know when dogs just barking without no reason, they just keep barking, bro. But let me get straight to the video. But maybe if y'all hear the dog barking in the background, you know there's nothing I could do about it. But let me get straight to it. Let's go.
Whether you're a motorhead, a grease monkey, or just a plain old 9-to-5 A to B driver, ever since the first ever commercial motor made its way to our bustling city streets, automotive vehicles have become an unavoidable part of our civilization, particularly when you're dodging traffic. While most of us spend our adult lives as semi-competent drivers, there are those that have transcended the very meaning of piloting a vehicle to the point that it's become somewhat of an art form. From 8-hour drifting vehicle to the point that it's become somewhat of an art form. From 8-hour drifting maniacs to cars that can climb stairs, here's 15 God-level drivers who do unreal things.
There's a lot more tension on the outside looking at me doing it. I'm just totally focused.
Parking a truck. All right, you may be thinking, parking a truck? Is that it? Well, before we dive into the bulk of these extraordinary feats of driving, we need to turn...
A lot of people think that's easy, but that's tough. Watching it from somebody, it look easy because the person make it look easy, but you who don't even have no experience doing that, that's tough, bro. And I could tell you from experience because I actually drive trucks and things like that. So yeah, that's tough. Especially when you're starting to learn and things like that. Especially if people waiting on you for you to park. That's tough, bro.
Your attention to the otherwise underappreciated skill that it takes to park. A commercial.
But I use not drive truck like I drive truck for a living, but like I drive it already. Let me correct myself. I think I say I drive truck, but what I mean I drive it before and I don't do it for a living. Because I have friends who actually drive for a living and I actually like was with them, so yeah.
Truck. Stick with us for a minute and feast your eyes on this video footage of a truck driver demonstrating their unreal ability to steer a full-sized truck through an incredibly narrow series of twists and turns. In Europe, in particular, the skill behind piloting huge trucks through narrow winding streets has recently become a subculture of technical driving in the automotive world.
Yeah, truck drivers out there know what I'm talking about. When y'all got reverse in a blind spot that you can't see the other side.
With drivers being required to navigate increasingly difficult metropolitan landscapes to keep the continent's infrastructure running. While this driver in particular is certainly an incredible driver, he's also not the only one with amazing instances of truck drivers demonstrating technical skills required to complete the coveted blindside parallel park, a tricky maneuver.
He could see on that side, on his driver's side, but he can't see on his passenger side because the trailer is blocking his rear view mirror. And that's the difficult part of reversing that. You know what I mean? That's the difficult part, bro.
Maneuver that's required by all truck drivers to pull off in order to acquire their license. During this maneuver, the truck starts in a lane next to the desired loading area, where it then pulls forward and backs into the space, all while their vision is completely blocked. Successfully pulling off this move in an empty parking lot is one thing, but doing it on a busy downtown street is a whole different tier of God-level driving. Hey, did you know that if you smash the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell, you're more likely to win the lottery? So what are you waiting for?
Man. Yeah, I heard it here first, man.
Dakar rally drivers. All right, forget about trucks for now, because what better way to prove that you're a God-level driver than by competing in the toughest race on earth, the Dakar Rally, an off-road perilous adventure that pits its drivers against some of the most inhospitable and unforgiving terrain on earth. Although Le Mans, the Indy 500, or the Isle of Man TT are coveted as the pinnacle of God-level driving, the Dakar Rally is a motorsport event like no other, one that holds an almost mythological status amongst its participants and spectators alike. Held annually, the event has pitted its drivers on a course that stretches from Paris, France, all the way to Dakar in Senegal, but has varied in recent years due to security concerns and was most recently held in Saudi Arabia. As an off-road endurance event, the desert terrain is the biggest hurdle for challengers to overcome, and so the rally itself is split into 5 vehicle categories: motorcycles, quad bikes, cars, trucks, and UTVs, pitting each vehicle against a perilous route of off-road scorching dunes, deep trenches of mud, camel grass, rocks, and sheer cliff faces. Yeah, as you can tell, it's considered the most difficult rally in the world for a reason. Incredibly, the race itself originated back in 1977, following an incident where French motorcycle racer Thierry Sabine got lost in the Sahara Desert while competing in the Abidjan to Nice rally. Sure, he may have steered pretty far off course, but the most infamous rally in the world became the result of the misfortune. Bartek Ostolowski. Okay, speaking of overcoming impossible challenges, this next entry is sure to demonstrate God-level driving with a much-needed dose of incredible human resilience. Meet Bartek Ostolowski, a Polish professional drifter with an incredibly unique skill.
Rally driver, so I tried competing and then accident happened.
One that has set him apart from his peers after he turned a tragedy into an astonishing moment of opportunity. After losing both his arms in a motorcycle accident, unbelievably, Bartek learned how to drive.
Dude ain't got no arms, so how he drifting?
With only the use of his feet, using a specially modified Nissan Skyline that he now uses to compete in professional drifting competitions. At the age of 20, Bartek was considered to be one of the most bright and young stars on the Polish competitive racing circuit. And after his horrific accident, although many people believed that he would never race again, he overcame the...
foot? Bro, I thought... That's crazy.
Possible odds by becoming the first driver with no arms to earn his international racing license. He says that he owes his refired passion of driving to another man in Poland who had a similar accident, but had managed to drive a car on a daily basis with no problems. He figured that if this regular guy could pilot his own vehicle without letting it hinder his life, then he could somehow engineer a way to reignite his racing career. And since then, he's...
You driving way better than people who actually got arms, bro. What the frick? Not even driving, you drifting, bro. And drifting, you gotta be turning, you're steering, you gotta be pulling handbrake. Like, what the frick, bro?
Found success after success in the racing scene. Most recently, he finished 9th of 50 drivers in the Polish Drift Championship, and that first place podium is still set in his sights. Incredible.
Incredible.
Terry Grant's barrel roll. In the world of competitive stunt driving, there is one name that stood out amongst the rest. One that's carved a strange place in the professional world of race car driving, not by actually racing, but by completing some of the most unbelievable stunts ever conceived. In stunt driving, Terry Grant is a living legend, and although he has completed a boatload of incredible stunts throughout his career, perhaps his most impressive is the gravity-defying barrel roll, a trick that earned him a Guinness World Record title in the process, orchestrated by Jaguar. During their launch for the latest E-Pace vehicle, the car manufacturer decided to take on the furthest barrel roll in a production vehicle category by bringing to life a stunt only ever seen in action movies. After months of planning and preparation, the official stunt took place at the Excel Center in London, which involved Terry Grant driving the Jaguar E-Pace along a ramp before hurtling through the air, turning over 270 degrees and landing safely on the other side. Incredibly, Terry Grant pulled off the stunt with relative ease, and after achieving a spectacular 50-foot-long barrel roll, he was officially confirmed as a Guinness World Record holder. Incredibly, during the attempt, Grant was subject to over 5.5 Gs, an immensely powerful gravitational force that would make the most hardened astronauts queasy.
In yet another Guinness World Record, this one is very special, the largest loop-the-loop ever driven in a car.
Ho Pin Tung's stair climb. Alright, sure, a 50-foot-long barrel roll is pretty impressive, but how about climbing over 1,000 stairs in a Range Rover? And by climbing, we mean climbing, traveling at a 45-degree angle for over 7 miles. Completed by famed Chinese stunt driver Ho Pen Tung, the incredible feat was commissioned once again by Jaguar Racing and required Tung to pilot a Range Rover Sport P400E hybrid along the legendary Tianmen Mountain Road, also known as the Dragon Road, which features a dizzying 99 turns before climbing upward to the Heaven's Gate Arch through 999 daunting steps. Although it was essentially a publicity stunt for Jaguar's new line of hybrid vehicles, the challenge itself has become one of the most extraordinary moments in automotive history. Ever since the construction of Heaven's Gate, nobody has ever attempted to drive a vehicle up to it, and so it was officially the first time in history that anyone has dared to take up the challenge. At the time, there was an incredible buzz about the stunt, as many Chinese racing fans believed it to be an impossible task. The most foreboding factor was the incline of the 999 steps, and if at any time during the stunt it started raining or a fog descended, the steps would have become too slippery for any tire tread to maintain traction. As it turned out, Ho Pen Tung and Jaguar proved them all wrong.
Still shaking. The adrenaline is something I've never experienced before.
Han Yui's parallel parking. All right, let's stay in the incredibly diverse landscape of China for a moment and turn your attention toward an automotive stunt of an entirely different caliber. While the Dragon Challenge pitted an SUV against a perilous mountain journey, for one Chinese stunt driver, the only record worth breaking was by maneuvering into the tightest parking space in history. Although the official world record had previously been held for several years by British racing driver Alistair Moffat, back in 2014, Chinese stunt driver Han Yui somehow managed to slide his vehicle into a parallel parking space that was just 3.5 inches bigger than his car. Held at the China Drift Championship in Chongqing, Han Yui completed this incredible stunt in a mini 3-door hatch, the same vehicle that's been used in the previous world record. Incredibly, after the previous record had been set by the British driver, experts had thought that Alistair's record of 3.4 inches was physically unbeatable. The astonishing parking feat was achieved by hurtling toward the space at high speeds before at the very last moment activating the handbrake and perfectly sliding the vehicle into the area. Maybe we'll just find another spot further up the street. Tractor drifters. Okay, you may have seen some of the most astonishing and capable drivers of all time powering their way across an incredible automotive machine, but how about doing it in a tractor? Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet. In a promotional stunt that has essentially become the Fast and the Furious in tractors back in the early 2014, a Scandinavian type...
Bro, I'm amazed, bro. I'm mind blown. Like, what? I thought it was a good job, but these man, like...
brand named Vienor decided to dispel the myth that stunt driving could only be completed in high-powered custom-engineered vehicles by releasing Tractor Terror. In a series of previously thought impossible stunts, Tractor Terror pits agricultural farming machinery in an array of 180 and 360-degree spins, donuts, and drifting. Yeah, you heard that right, a drifting tractor. While Vienor are famed for their uniquely designed tractor tires, they decided to demonstrate just how versatile their retail product is. You may not believe it, but the tractor seen in this video is a souped-up 1956 Volvo BM Terrier, completed with an added roll cage, adjustable front suspension, and an extended frame. Incredibly, the custom setup can pull up to 225 horsepower and is capable of reaching top speeds of 60 miles per hour. That's some tractor. Vesa Kivameki's side wheelie. Okay, we've seen some pretty staggering stunts already, but have you ever heard of a side wheelie? And what has become an almost unbeatable feat of stunt driving, considered by many to be the pinnacle of stunt driving.
Is Muslim? Is it? I think in Dubai, these man, I see video of these man going down the highway in top speed on two-wheels sideways, bro. I don't know if that's editing or what, but I seen video of these man them doing that. I be like, what the frick? Them man will be like swerving just straight on two-wheels sideways and controlling top speed. I don't know if that's editing or what, but if that's true, them man's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
This bizarre challenge undertaken back in 2016 was so difficult that bulletproof tires had to be used in order to achieve the desired effect, completed by Finnish stunt driver Vesa Kivimäki. The challenge resulted in a brand new Guinness World Record being set as the fastest two-wheeled side wheelie in a car, reaching an astonishing top speed of 115 miles per hour in the process. While Vesa had made earlier attempts to achieve such an incredible record, he had previously always fallen short.
But the thing is with them Dubai, man. Well, I don't know if it's in Dubai, but they in the sand. They look like Dubai in the desert with the roads. Them man don't have like the little ramp like to make you go sideways. Them man actually like swerve, then go on sideways, bro, on two wheels. You know what I mean? But these man, they have like the little ramp to help them out. But that man is crazy doing that in top speed.
Due to the fact that the types of tires he was required by such a stunt are put under enormous amounts of pressure. For those in the know, tires have always been a determining factor in side wheelie record attempts. With the car tilted over, only the sidewalls of the tires are in contact with the asphalt, and with conventional tires, the friction wears them to the point of failure almost instantly. The answer? Bulletproof tires. It's always bulletproof tires. Vietnam's motorcycle drivers. All right, let's take a
Bags everywhere, bro.
breather for a moment and take a look at a much more universal driving experience for those of us that breather for a moment.
Where's the lane? What the stop lights in? It's like everybody do you, bro. It's no lanes. It ain't stop sign. I ain't even see. Like what? That's crazy.
Moment and take a look at a much more universal driving experience for those of us that live in Southeast Asia or have ever been fortunate enough to spend some time there. Driving in the densely populated cities of the East has come with the ever-present danger of poor road surfaces, the threat of exotic animals darting across the road, and of course, unpredictable and wonderfully mad tires.
That accident probably is high up there, bro. People hitting into people.
In Vietnam in particular, motorcycle driving has taken on an entirely new life as an almost cultural spectacle of insanity-level driving, and one that isn't always taken lightly. The roads in Vietnam are considered by many to be some of the most perilous in the world, and as Vietnam currently has one of the highest road mortality rates in the world, raising awareness around road safety has become an impossible task. The problem is, many motorcyclists in Vietnam have taken to driving on the pavement in order to beat rush hour traffic, which has resulted in an entirely new level of commuting. Johann Schwartz's 8-hour drift. Sure, we've seen some impossible God-level driving already, but without a doubt, this next astonishing feat is like no other. Believe it or not, but back in 2018, Danish stunt driver Johann Schwartz decided it would be a good idea to achieve a new world record in drifting, the driving technique that requires sliding in a circular motion at high speeds. But this time, he figured it would be a bright idea to maintain that drift for an extended period of time. How about over 8 hours? What the heck? Astonishingly, the 8-hour drift wasn't even the ultimate star of this show, because the real challenge came with the fact that Schwartz's BMW M5 needed to be refueled midway through the stunt. And to achieve the specific refueling moment, it meant that the second vehicle had to also drift at the exact same speed. Somehow, despite the overwhelming specifications of such an impossible stunt, the team pulled it off without a hitch.
Right there.
And Schwartz and his team hurtled into the record books with both the longest drift of all time, as well as the longest distance traveled during a drift, 232.5 miles. Harpreet Dev's back gear style. Ever been driving your car and all of a sudden you pull off a pretty cool reverse? Perhaps even backing into a parking space while you're doing it. Yeah? Well, imagine doing that at over 50 miles per hour. And also, driving everywhere, all the time. in reverse, meeting Harpreet Dev, an Indian driver that has installed 4 extra gears in his custom-built vehicle, enabling him to drive anywhere in reverse. Yeah, we mean anywhere and everywhere, because this guy has been reversing along India's roads for the past 15 years. Reportedly, as the story goes, Harpreet started driving backwards when his car got stuck in reverse back in 2003. And since then, he insists that he feels safer driving backwards than forwards. Although at the time he couldn't afford to repair his vehicle, eventually he had managed to gather enough cash together to fix his car, but had grown so accustomed to driving backwards that he had 3 more reverse gears fitted in order to safely achieve a speed variety. Yeah, I guess that's one way to do it. Norway police chase. While there have been some pretty eye-watering high-speed police chases throughout history, this next entry demonstrates some of the most god-tier driving that we've ever seen, as a team of jewel thieves somehow managed to evade police through a park in central Oslo, Norway. After raiding a jewelry store armed with pistols, the team of thieves fled the scene on a moped, and police were quickly dispatched to the area to chase them down. While hurtling through the busy Oslo streets, the thieves decided it would be the perfect time to lose the police in a nearby park, but they didn't account for the fact that the driver of the chasing police car was a god-tier driver. Just watch and see what happens, because it seems that there's no hiding from this driver. Bus drivers in the Himalayas. Being a driver, whether you're a taxi driver, a bus driver, or a delivery driver, can often be difficult enough when it comes to the risks of a regular occupation, but when you take those risks and place them in roads like these, holy moly. When it comes to god-level driving, the insane bus drivers that navigate the mountainous Himalayas of India and Nepal are on an entirely different level. Tragically, while this instance is an incredible feat of driving, the results are often catastrophic, and it's thought that across the Indian Himalayas alone, more than 5,000 people per year die in dangerous traffic collisions throughout these treacherous roads and mountain landscapes. Back in June of 2019, more than 40 people tragically lost their lives after a coach plunged into a deadly gorge found in the rugged mountainous state Himachal Pradesh. Sadly, it's not an isolated incident, and nearly every month, bus drivers and tourists alike lose their lives trying to make their way across the region, which is renowned for its deadly landslides and road conditions during the monsoon season. Ken Block stunt extraordinaire. Alright, for the motorheads amongst us, you've probably been thinking, when is Ken Block going to be featured? Well, fear not, because this list certainly wouldn't be complete without us highlighting the stunt king extraordinaire himself. For those of you that aren't familiar with the name, Ken Block is a legend in the world of stunt driving, and after celebrating an extraordinary career in professional rally driving, he now astonishes the racing world by pulling off some of the most impossible stunts ever designed. Perhaps Block's most famous series of stunts are his Gymkhana events, a motoring experience held annually across the planet that pits some of the most talented drivers in the world against a series of time trials. There's not much more than we can say about these legendary performances because the driving speaks for itself. Greg Godfrey's truck jumps. And finally, as our last location on
That man actually have a trailer truck catching air. First it was drifting, now it's catching air.
this whistle-stop tour, we have to pay tribute to another legend of the motoring world with daredevil Greg Godfrey, a driver that has recently been known as the spiritual successor to Evel Knievel himself. Back in 2015, held at the annual Evel Knievel Days in Butte, Montana, Greg Godfrey attempted an unimaginable stunt, a motoring moment that saw him complete the world's longest jump in a 9-ton semi-truck. Astonishingly, during the stunt, Godfrey claimed that he'd only meant to jump 140 feet in total, but somehow managed to hurdle 166 feet in his semi-truck, smashing the previous record by over 100 feet. Hey, that's one way to do it, right? And as it turns out, Evel Knievel would have been proud. Well,
Yo, I'm amazed with some of these videos, these trucks. Well, with the driving, bro, I'm amazed, bro. The one what got me shocked is the one with all the bags with no lanes, bro. And the second one was with the trailer truck. I guess I call it semi truck, but we call it trailer truck down here. That's crazy, bro. I thought I was bad in driving, but these man on a whole different scale, bro. Whole different scale. I know the video done a little too long, so I ain't gonna keep you but too long. So before I get out of here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know down in the section what to react to next. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell so you can know when your body is posted again. Be safe out there, bye gone.